I was on the fence on this game, Parkins, and then you were like, no, go with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Did the Chiefs put the league on notice, and do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Not accepted. You should have known better.
I should have known better.
Yeah.
I worked in Kansas City for so long.
Yeah.
I picked him in that Super Bowl last year against the Eagles.
Yeah.
I picked him to be in the last
but
five
and then
Super Bowls.
2 games, two bad games. You fickle media all of a sudden think.
Right. He got hot off the Eagles pick. He did the whole heel turn. Remember he was like naming streets in
And that
Kansas
one
City?
worked for me.
Yeah.
The Eagles covered, and then I abandoned my Kansas City roots.
Yeah.
And it backfired spectacularly. Yeah. So I wanted to, you're beloved in Kansas City.
Of course.
Right?
Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Well, I would say we are beloved in Kansas City, but I just wanted to make sure that I still am. So I put together a quick apology of sorts.
Okay.
That if Christina, if we could just
let's
just get out in front of this, please, and just roll the apology, please. When can we expect the Chiefs' offense to be good? If the Chiefs lose this game, we will be talking about the Chiefs as a wild card team or missing the playoffs.
The Chiefs will be fine. They are just not fine now. I just simply do not think the Chiefs can keep up in this game. It's that simple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you see, that's about it.
Oh, wow.
Except for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
because I still like.
Yeah,
the
that's
Bills.
all right.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Come
So
on.
you're not picking against the
rest
what
of
does
the
it say?
season?
Did he
Rest
ever,
of the season, he will never.
Basically, what I
I
think.
picked against them. It was a mistake.
and you're
I'm
not
sorry.
picking against the Chiefs for the rest of the year?
Until they play
Really?
the Bills.
Oh my gosh! So you overcorrected. Dude.
So they're gonna. I agree with
No,
that.
I'm not saying that they're going to run the table.
I
I'm
think-
saying they got an official Parkins pick, a bet, saying they can't win a shootout, doubting them. It was a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, it not only was it a dumb thing to say, he just means holistically he's not going to doubt the team anymore. And it was a dumb, you could
4
lose
weeks.
individual games. That's fine. It was a dumb thing to say. Here's the thing, Wilds.
Oh, no.
Because it's an unacceptable opinion, and you all had it. Doubting Mahomes,
my gosh.
only truly
We're
unacceptable opinion. No, you did this to me last Friday. We all walked in. Gianna's or Thursday. Gianna had question of the day. What quarterback would you rather have? And you said picking Mahomes over Lamar was, quote, an unacceptable opinion. You saw
He's
we
the
can
best,
put up
as the best passer rating in NFL history.
Yeah, exactly.
not my fault the
How's
guy-
that working out for you?
I feel really dumb.
How's it exactly?
I do.
Amazingly, the only person who isn't covered in shame on this is the guy who came out on a stretcher. Because he's the only one who all last week was like, listen, Mahomes is the best. You can't put anything past him. Even if they lose, I'm not writing them off at all. You had them as the wild card. They're now a game out of first. You had the Chiefs having no chance of blowing out the Ravens.
If the Chiefs, if that team did not have on purple jerseys, and it was, this is a fair question. It's the reason I'm not like demanding. Well, I did say I want Drake May the MVP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm like, you know what? We beat the Panthers. It's not a big deal. We put up a ton of points on the Panthers at home. It's fine. It's a nice little stat.
They
goosing for
made
Drake May.
Lamar
Where are you at
tap
on the
out,
Ravens
bro.
now?
Here's where I'm at on the Ravens. I don't want to be ridiculous, but Danny, I want to pull you back over a little bit from your apology. The Ravens have the worst defense in the league. The Ravens had 6 guys out of the game. So you had the worst defense in the league that was missing guys.
So hold on. Let me
so
ask
I'm not
you
going to
this.
throw the parade
But
that the
you
Chiefs
did
beat
it
up
for
on the
Detroit.
worst.
You did it for Detroit. A week ago, with those same guys that they went into this game missing.
No, Roquan Smith.
No,
was not
the
missing.
same guys they went into the game.
Okay, but then we got more people got
KW,
missing.
the game, by the time those guys went out, the Chiefs were up 3 scores. They were in firm control.
Roquan was early.
Roquan was early. Marlon Humphrey was after they were up 3 scores. And
I'm just not ready to have a parade. It was a good performance.
Hold on, nobody's asking you to have a parade. What I
That'll
am,
come later.
what I am asking for.
That's the only.
Yeah.
We're not
No, because the idea that going into the game, you and others were adamant. You knew the injuries. You said they can't blow them out. You knew knew the situation. You said the only blowout could go in the other direction.
It's true.
All of that. and so if the Chiefs beating the Ravens 37-20 is not impressive, then the Bills have done nothing impressive all year.
On the board.
Okay, the Lions have done nothing impressive all year.
That was a get-right game.
No, correct?
Yeah, I mean, people are beating up on the Ravens. That's all I'm saying. People are beating up on the Ravens. And Mahomes was the latest guy to beat up on the Ravens.
The question is not.
None of them were blowouts like this.
And it's not a Mahomes question. It's a Chiefs question. That's a Mahomes banner.
Yeah.
What no one had done, and I'll go back to you, was shut the Ravens offense down. Yeah. Nobody had done that. They were scoring 40 or 35 on everybody. That has to count for something if we're talking about, can this team be the best team in the conference?
Yeah, the Chiefs offense scoring more than 35 for the first time since week 3 of 2023. I didn't see it coming against anybody. Against Dallas, against Carolina.
Are you surprised it came against the team that's been giving up 30 points every game this year?
Well, we'll see.
It's like that has to be.
Sure, and we'll see what happens when they play Jacksonville, who's got 13 takeaways so far this year and has had so we'll see if they can start stacking it. My point is, doubting that they could do it was dumb. That's where I am pointing
in
two
fairness
thumbs
to
at
you. And I mean, you knew he was coming back, but Xavier Worthy made all the difference in the world.
He was spectacular, right? He had a 37-yard catch, a 28-yard catch, and a 35-yard run.
And even when he opened up, like the underneath for Kelsey and all that.
But I guess I don't know why it was surprising. Like this is what's frustrating for me, and then we can move on. It's not surprising for me. I did think the Ravens were massively overrated.
Okay.
I did think that adding Worthy would open things up entirely. I did think that the Chiefs, if need be, could win a shootout, but wouldn't need to win a shootout because I did not expect Lamar to play well when he saw he was up against Mahomes. So that game played out kind of how I thought it could happen.
You weren't expecting that type of.
No, I honestly thought it was more likely to be like 23-17 Chiefs. But I thought if they needed to score, they could. What is utterly infuriating for me is that I tried to present all of that last week. It was dismissed out of hand as the team that it could get blown out is Kansas City. We are now sitting here, and now it's, well, how impressive is it?
I think it's fair to ask how impressive it was, where we had two games, one at 4 o'clock, one at 8 o'clock. The Cowboys went up against the Packers defense, which I believe had the best defense in the entire league, and put up 40. And we're like, oh, wow, the Cowboys offense is the real deal. At 4 o'clock, the Chiefs offense was going up against the worst defense, who had given up 30 points in each one of their games. And we're like, wow, the Chiefs did a good job. But I'm not putting those in the same category. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Against the best defense and the worst, they both scored 30 plus. I don't understand why that's a challenging concept. You got Mahomes, you got Worthy back. I think that makes it more impressive too. You just trust those guys.
I'm saying I'm just not ready to say they're all the way back because you played the worst defense.
I don't know that they're going to.
I don't know that's not a controversial opinion.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to win 14 games this year. I just think where I am pointing a thumb at myself is I did not think they had that in them yet. I thought it was going to take more time, worse opponent, Rice coming back. It was going to develop later in the year. And they already did it.
They are the worst opponent. That's my argument. No, Statistically, they are the worst opponent.
KW, and then we can move on. They were the exact same spot in rankings defensively going into the game. And you thought that was not going to happen.
That's true.
So it is the exact Calvin Ball situation I was worried about, which is you saw all the defensive rankings, which is one of the reasons I picked the Chiefs. You were like, nope, doesn't matter. This Chiefs offense can't do that against anyone.
I thought the Ravens' the offense would be better.
Correct, but you also didn't think the Chiefs could score 30 on anybody. They did, and then you're like, what does that even matter? Like, okay, that's fine.
I'm saying it does matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all. I'm just not saying I'm ready to it's unacceptable to doubt that
it's unacceptable to say that it can't happen, which is what was said. That's all I'm saying. You said it was an unacceptable opinion to say you'd rather have Mahomes than Lamar in that game. That's why I put unacceptable opinion on there. That is what happened.
The banner says it must be true.
I also want to apologize. The Ravens aren't dead last in total yards. They're 31st. So I apologize.
Good correction.
On the other end of the
Yeah, and
spectrum.
they didn't let the Browns.
Harbaugh and the Ravens fall to 1-3, buying a dreadful game from Lamar. They do, according to Bill Barnwell, have the 8th easiest schedule from here on out, Brew. Here's those defensive stats that we've mentioned. Now, it does include the Chiefs, so it's not just like they've always been bad. Is it panic time?
No, it's not panic time. You're obviously very concerned. It would be panic time if we get news today, tomorrow, whatever, that Lamar is out for the next 2 weeks. And then they have a bye, so, he missed the next 2 games. Because they could very easily and likely would be 1-5.
Really? Because Cooper Rush gives them a spark, according to Tony Romo.
That was quite a comment. That was quite a comment.
I thought Romo did a pretty good job until that. Yeah, because they could, Houston,
Yes.
you could lose that, and obviously the Rams. Then I would be like, okay, this is very concerning. But assuming Lamar is back next week and Lamar, I think they'll be fine. I think they can still win that. They should still win that division. I believe they'll win the division. My concern is they got to win 10, and I think they will, but you have to win 10 of the next 13 games at least. I imagine in your mind, like, can we beat the big boys? Like, what's at the end of the rainbow for us? Can we beat Buffalo? Can we beat Kansas City? I would imagine, certainly me who picked them to get to the Super Bowl, am hoping that once they get rolling, they make the playoffs, Buffalo beats Kansas City. Yeah. And then they don't have to play the Chiefs in the playoffs. So that's my only concern. But no, I think I'm not panicked at all.
So I'm not either because of the path. We talked about this last week, the division, not having full confidence in the Steelers, Jake Browning instead of Joe Burrow. I think they still have a pretty clear path to winning the AFC North. But I also would just put the qualifier on all of this. Same thing. Yeah. Assuming Lamar Jackson is healthy. If Lamar isn't healthy, then I don't think that they can just beat every lesser team on their schedule. But to your point about the defense, it might just be awful. Because what happened last year to Detroit was all of the injuries happened on one side of the ball. And it was like, they weren't going to be the best defense in the NFL, but they probably were going to be like middle of the pack. And then the injuries just overwhelmed it. Now, they've allowed 37 in 3 of their 4 games. That historically trends to a 4, 5, 6-win team. We can show what that would show you historically, but also just the names. Madubuike out for the season. Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Van Noy, 2 more defensive linemen.
How long are those guys out?
How long are they out? Because I think the Ravens are better than those teams on the board defensively. They got better over the course of last year defensively, I think. But if this defense is like last year's Lions defense, well, then all bets are off.
But last year's Lions, the Ravens have already lost more games than last year's Lions lost.
I'm saying their defensive ranking.
No, I understand. I guess I look at the Ravens, the first 2 losses being the defense, it's weird, actually. Loss one was the Derrick Henry fumble that opened the floodgates because they had allowed, like the Ravens had been against the Bills and the Lions. The Ravens defense did a fine job through 3 quarters. That's the other part of it to me that is important. And I don't know if we can throw the stats up there or not, but like the Chiefs are the only team to boat race them through 3 quarters. The Bills and Lions. So the first game to me was the Derrick Henry fumble, tipped ball, little unlucky, whatever. Third game, the Lions, in my opinion, are flatly better. Fourth game, and here's the numbers through 3 quarters just to show you guys, like the Lions put up yards, but nobody was, scoring at will the way Kansas City was.
And they were up on the line. Was it?
Right. No, they were certainly up on Buffalo, and the Lions game was close until Lions got a 4th down. The Ravens didn't. Yesterday's game to me was about Lamar pressing early when they had control. They drive down and score. The Chiefs then stall in the red zone. It's 7-3 Baltimore. They have the ball, driving again, and then go up 2 scores, and then who knows how it feels. Lamar throws it away. But this is just another example.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
I didn't know we were.
The Ravens, shout out to them, man. I mean, it's one of the greatest hypothetical teams of all time, the Ravens the last 7 years. Every year I got to hear about the talent. That's the other thing that kills me about this conversation now. I understand that now the defense is super banged up. It was not super banged up 2 weeks ago when they were terrible. And all offseason, I heard about Jair Alexander and Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith and all of it. And once again, it's a team that is an idea more than it is anything else.
Oddly, Danny, and you mentioned this last week, they are still minus 200 in the AFC North.
They have better Super Bowl odds than Kansas City right now.
Really?
Yes. And better odds to make the playoffs than the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because of the path.
Vegas can't quit this team. They have better odds to win the conference and win the Super Bowl.
And
where's the
playoffs.
smart money, though, going?
Well, my money is not going there. And right after this weekend,
where's
my
the
money
sharp
is
money?
very
That's what I meant. The sharp money.
Yeah, I'll check.
Where are the whales? Your buddy Nacho.
Shout out for Nacho.
Shout out to Nacho.
Nacho hanging in Ibiza, firing soccer games all day.
Time now for a special edition of Stock Up, Stock Down, where we figure out whose stock is up and whose stock is down.
We've never been invited a part of this.
I'm excited. Whose stock is up? Oh, it's Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, you see it? It says it right there. His stock is way up. And so the researcher here for the OT, Troy, been working with him now for over a year. He's named Troy after Aikman, lifelong Cowboy fan.
Is that true?
100% true.
Wow.
He backs this take up, said it was not crazy.
Oh, no.
That's the best game I've ever seen Dak Prescott play.
I'm fine with that.
You got to watch the games. He has had better numbers. He's had a 5-touchdown game. He's had a 500-yard game or 400-yard game. Like he's had, I think it was a 500-yard. He's had unbelievable statistical games.
That was incredible.
But no CeeDee Lamb, your center and your right guard out, playing against a defense that held Detroit to 13 points, putting up 40 when we all thought they were going to get blown. No one gave them an ounce of a chance, less than the Chiefs against the Ravens. And they tied that game and scored 40 points. He was remarkable in that game. Way up.
Do you think that's the best game of his career?
I think
so.
You had to watch.
Oddly, I've always thought the best game of his career was a different game against the Packers in that building that they didn't win. The divisional round playoff game his rookie year, when he went toe for toe, throw for throw with Aaron Rodgers, and it took some insane Rodgers plays. And then the Mason Crosby kind of curving in field goal at the end.
Without CeeDee Lamb.
And against the defense, by the way, you know, I was worried when you said he's named after Troy, and you're like, I thought you were going to say he's better than Troy Aikman. Like, please don't say he's better than Troy Aikman.
No.
But
Best game of Dak's career.
I hadn't thought about that. I don't think that's crazy. I'd have to really dive in, but I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead, Will.
I just wouldn't go public with it. No, I'm just saying I wouldn't go.
I mean, maybe he's done the homework. I haven't done the homework yet.
No, I just wouldn't be like, and it was a tie.
Yeah.
I knew
That's
you were
fair.
going to hate that part.
That's fair.
I knew you were going to.
A lot of
He was amazing.
the year he threw, what was he on pace for almost 6,000 yards one year when he got hurt? A lot of those games with the huge yards were like
Garbage
comebacks.
time.
They were getting
this
crushed.
was blow
and he
for
came
blow
back.
with a lot of pressure.
The Packers scored on every possession of the second half, and Dak just went toe for toe.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I also like that game.
And
that
George
opening game
Pickens is no,
against Brady.
No chump.
Oh, yeah.
No
Lost.
question. Pickens
Still
was
had
great
to
too.
go.
That wasn't good.
Well, a tie and a loss. It's the best game. Next up, whose stock is down?
This one's very painful for me, but I got to admit, Justin Herbert's stock. I said just figured out a way to win, and that was a weird game.
This guy's just trying to throw
tipped
big
interception
sixes.
to a 350-pounder. Lad McConkey falls down on the other interception. Like, I don't think this is on him, but, you know.
It's not on him. There's no one in this area.
His receiver fell down. He would have been there if he didn't fall down.
Doesn't look like Peyton Manning.
And yeah, he didn't look like Peyton Manning. But no Rashawn Slater, no Mekhi Becton. Then Joe Alt gets hurt in that game. He was under more pressure in that game than he was in the Texans playoff game where he threw the 4 picks. But the passer rating going down week over week as the pressure mounts, as the offensive line injuries mount, not a great moment in time for Justin Herbert stock.
Yeah, or
Not a great moment in time.
or for the LA Chargers.
Well,
Who
that too.
a week ago.
That too.
We're talking about them being 4-0 because God knows anyone can go to the Meadowlands and win. and the Chiefs staring at the Ravens.
And to make this a Chiefs thing?
I'm just saying.
Stop. Oh my God.
R.I.P. Chargers, AFC West favorites.
They're now co-favorites.
You got 3 weeks out of it.
Yeah,
You got 3 weeks out of it.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it, Colin Cowherd, Danny Parkins. I hope you guys loved it.
One more. We've got.
We got one more. That's a good graphic.
Yes.
Or a good banner. Oh, I had to get it in. It doesn't matter that it was only 200 yards. There was an interception, that they got 3 turnovers in the first half and got 6 points out of it. You play to win the game.
That's right.
Caleb Williams. These are the games that for my entire life the Bears have lost. He got the ball, 6 minutes left, needed a touchdown.
What is his passer rating?
Passer rating.
Headed in the right
and that is
direction?
in the second half, by the way, because the early it was, the Ben Johnson scripted plays.
Oh, timeout. This is second half.
Yeah, he's getting better as the game goes on. Okay. He's leading fourth quarter comebacks. Caleb Williams.
Because the first
figuring out a way to win.
The passer rating was carried by that opening script when they was 10 for 10.
Exactly. Yeah, I should have clarified that up the top. My apologies. But making plays at the end of a game to win on the road when you need a touchdown down late, that absolutely matters. And now, playoff chances are alive for the Bears heading into the bye, and then they get Washington on Monday Night Football.
You left out one of the biggest factors in that game.
Oh, God, dog it. We almost got through the whole.
No! 3 picks.
Gino's having a ball security problem. I agree.
Sure
is. Here is what I think is
undisputably
true. No Caleb banner.
Okay.
It wouldn't have mattered if Caleb had the second half that Jalen Hurts had yesterday. If the Bears won, they were going to feel like they could finally take a deep sigh of relief.
Agreed.
Get to 2-2, you know what I mean? Have an extra week to prepare for the Commanders in what is, going to be
I don't like that early bye.
I don't love the early bye is what it means for late in the year.
Yeah.
I think it's good for them as far as their chances of beating the Commanders in 2 weeks, which matters a lot.
Ben Johnson doing his trick plays. Settle down.
We go to Tampa, where the Eagles, well, they're still undefeated, but because there's always some drama, there were no completions in the second half, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith had 4 catches for just 36 yards. And then A.J. Brown decided, the win wasn't enough. I'm going to quote the Bible and go on Twitter, and if you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. So I have very strong feelings, at least about that A.J. Brown portion of it that I'll get to in a minute. But Greg, concern or just about 4-0 here?
Look, I get it. They're 4-0.
They are 4-0. They're the champs.
Coach, I get it from your perspective, too. Wins are important. That's what matters for coaches. Wins matter for quarterbacks. Give me the ball, please. There is concern because when inside the locker room, guys are starting to speak out. And yes, A.J. Brown is the one that we hear from the most. But we're not going to hear from Devontae Smith. We're not going to hear from Saquon. We're not going to hear from these other guys because that's not really their personality. That's not what they do. But that doesn't mean they don't feel the same way. They don't feel like things need to improve. Just because a team is 4-0 and they haven't suffered a loss, a lot of times we as fans are like, well, just deal with it. You're winning until you get that first loss. Coach, you understand this. And then all of a sudden, the things that we were trying to as players to bring up and that A.J. Brown is bringing up right now and trying to bring attention to, now all of a sudden, well, they do have problems. We saw this in week 3. We saw this in week 2. We saw this here. We saw this. Now it's like, oh, now you want to pay attention to me. But when I'm saying it when we're winning, it's like, be quiet. We're winning. Just allow it to take its course. And at some point, I understand a guy like A.J. Brown because I played the position. I understand my value. I see and I know the impact that I can have, and it sounds so selfish, but he's a part of one of the reasons why we believe this team has an opportunity to do something special again this year. But if this is what they're going to look like, we're going to continue to say, do we have concerns? Because he's not included, Devontae Smith's not included, their passing game is not included.
Well, first of all, his quote says you quietly go away, and nothing says quietly go away like posting it on Twitter.
I knew you.
So that's not quietly go away. And the issue here is last year when he pulled out his book, that was at least during the playoffs, and now he's pulling out not his book, but this is his other way of saying, hey, I'm not happy with my situation, but we're at week 4. And last year, when they started out the season, they threw the ball a lot through the first 4 games, and they were 2-2.
Right.
So would you rather be 4-0? Would you rather be 2-2? And I understand that he has value, he has tremendous value, and he's a great player. But at the end of the day, it's more important to win games than to make one person happy. And I'm not saying, I don't think anybody in that building is looking at this and saying, we don't have a problem here. You know, it's not like A.J. Brown is like, hey, guess what? The secret, there's a problem here. Like, they know it's there, but they're still winning, and they can work on it while they're winning.
So can I try to inject a little bit of nuance into this, which normally it's like, it's not the greatest sports television. It's like, I'd have the strongest take ever. Like, objectively, the passing game is not where it needs to be. And if you gave A.J. Brown all that money and you traded a first-round pick for him, and you gave Devontae Smith a $75 million extension and you used a high pick on him, like, objectively, you would like them, and we could show the numbers. I assume the plan was for, other than the second half against the Rams, for them to be involved. Like, we're 4 games into the season, and other than 2 quarters against the Rams, they have 7 first downs. Like, that is just, like, objectively a problem.
So would you objectively rather they be 2-2 and
No.
get a lot more catches?
No, I wouldn't. Because I think it's also objectively true that A.J. Brown tweet is insane. Like, that is a crazy thing to do after a win. You're like, I know people can perceive that as selfish, because it is selfish.
Well,
it is a selfish thing to do.
Well, sometimes you have to, like, I didn't like what he did with the book, because I didn't. It was it was something that I felt like could cause and draw attention to him with the team that we identified as, man, this team has something special. Even though it doesn't look the way that he wanted it to look, they were still clicking on all cylinders. Now it's like you're asking, in the playoffs, I understand the idea of succumbing to one goal, one ego, like, this is what we're doing, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll swallow my pride. You're asking me to do that all over again? Oh, wait, so do exactly hold on, I understand it equates to winning, but what about, like, why I have chosen to play this sport, why you chose to sign me to that contract?
Hey, give me the damn ball. It's a tale as old as time.
Like, please, like, not even all the time. Just, can I get it sometimes? And when you do throw it to me, can it actually be an opportunity, not a target? Not throwing it out of bounds over my head and then it's labeled as a target, so it looks like you're throwing in my direction. I don't want to hear that. I'm not saying that I would do this, but I would definitely say something.
If you sent that tweet out after a win, imagine if they had lost. Let's go to Dallas. We saw Micah Parsons make his long-awaited 4 weeks return to the Cowboys, and we all thought it was going to be a Packers blowout. It was a 40-40 tie. All right, Coach, how disappointing from a Packers perspective is that tie?
Yeah, it's got to be really disappointing.
All right, I'll stop asking dumb questions. My bad.
It's got to be incredibly disappointing. Micah was traded there, and everything. Weren't they 2 weeks ago? They were going undefeated. Now they've lost to the Browns, and now they've tied Dallas. And I get it. CeeDee Lamb was so dynamic. Oh, that's right. CeeDee Lamb didn't play yesterday. Oh, so their best player is out, but Micah plays for Green Bay. He was their best defensive player, but they did hold him to just over a shutout. Oh no, it was 40 points. So I'd say, yeah, he's disappointed. I would imagine everybody else in Green Bay is disappointed too. He did sign the highest contract for a non-quarterback in the history of the NFL, but that 1 sack he got, that was pivotal.
He is dripping with sarcasm on a Monday. That was your Super Bowl pick. 40 points. That's your Super Bowl pick. Yeah, go ahead.
Look, it was
Go ahead.
It was very disappointing. I'm not going to be as sarcastic. It was disappointing. Look, if a tie is it's the most unsatisfying thing in sport. But for the Cowboys, it just feels like a win.
Oh, big win.
Like it feels like a win, and it actually feels like a loss was suffered by the Green Bay Packers because this was not what they expected. This was not what the vast majority of us in the media expected because of what we know that Coach was alluding to. Micah, the headlines, what he brings, what the Dallas Cowboy defense wasn't. Well, I don't know what they are. Are they good? Are they not? They were effective. And then Dak, what he was able to do, like, you got to be frustrated with the way you performed if you're Micah in that defense and you give up 40 points, you're not able to get pressure on the quarterback at all. It feels like a loss.
Yeah, no question it feels like a loss. And for the defense specifically, you had given up 4 touchdowns in 3 games, and then you give up 5 to a team with no CeeDee Lamb. Like, that's just you put on the film and it's like, where do you even go to get answers on something like that? Like, that is one of the most shocking results of the first 4 games of the season. Any team.
Well, they did just lose to Cleveland last week. I don't know.
I'm just saying,
they
giving
were
up
8.5
40.
point underdogs in that game too. So
you just don't think they're very good?
No, I'm not saying that. I just think as a young, immature team who had 2 great wins to start the season, when you start talking about going undefeated, you're just putting it's just too much too soon, and you're losing track of what's most important, which is what's right in front of you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.